let's get into it. Like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. There hasn't been too much economic data that's come out in for the month of October. I believe that comes out next week, Wednesday. So yeah, but there was, obviously the rate decision. Again, if you're listening to me, I'm 2 for 2. I'm putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers right now. Anyways, but yeah, of course, obviously they held rates, right? So there is one last rate meeting for this year, and the next rate meeting is in January, so 2024. So obviously start thinking about that. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings about decreasing rates coming in the next the next couple of quarters. So I'm hearing Q2. So that's going to be like April of cutting rates. Again, I'm no fortune teller, right? This is obviously going to be dependent on economic data, CPI coming back in line, etc. So again, there is no updates on the CPI numbers for this month. So again, I'm just kind of reiterating numbers to you guys at this point, right? But again, job numbers, the same as that I shared last time, right? Job numbers are, unemployment is expected to go up. Just to reiterate, again, banks are laying people off. I'm seeing a lot of other companies laying people off just in the news and stuff like that, right? So those numbers are expected to go up, and that is, even though it's bad for the economy, it's good for our long-term outlook on rates. So again, just mentioning that to you guys as well. Where are rates? So I've seen a lot of rhetoric about rates coming down, especially on the fixed side. Bond yields have been pretty volatile these days, but I haven't seen any tangible changes on the A side, and neither on the B side as well, right? These are where rates are at right now. Again, 3-year fixed. I haven't seen many tangible changes. I've seen a couple of lenders decrease their rates, especially for insured mortgages, but nothing really tangible. And the biggest thing that I wanted to bring to you guys today that was new was just the bond yields, because I'm seeing a lot, like I said, a lot of rhetoric about, hey, yeah, you know what, there should be some relief coming on the 5-year fixed side. But I haven't really seen that. Of course, as you guys know, I'm sure, fixed rates follow bond yields. This is the bond yields from year over year. So obviously they're still trending up. They haven't come down tangibly. Now we're expecting that to have some relief there, but we just haven't seen it move significantly. So I just wanted to mention that. And again, another point of just reiterating to you guys, I brought this last week, or the last week that I was up here. If you guys have clients that are renewing, high ratio clients, they no longer have to qualify under the stress test. A report came out a couple of weeks ago now, about a month ago now. Again, high ratio clients do not need to qualify under the stress test. So that gives a little bit more leeway for clients that, might have locked in a mortgage during 2020 and are feeling the stress of it now. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys. Again, if it provides a little bit more flexibility to your clients. So these are things that are available to us, and nice to know. But that's about it for me today. And yeah.
I just heard I think it came out of someone else's meeting, one of the other brokerages, that someone announced that 60% of mortgages are renewing in the next 3 years. Yeah. So that is true.
Yeah, I've seen that number as well.
Yeah.
And again, this is something that I maybe saw on Twitter. But yeah, most mortgages, they are 3 to 5 year terms. Yeah. And even before the pandemic, people were locking in a lot of 5-year mortgages, right? Most people hold their mortgages for about 3 years before they break them for whatever reason, whether they sell or break their mortgage, etc. So I would, corroborate that 60% number.
Yeah. So Royal LePage was actually the source of some of that data. So they recently published a mortgage report related to the Canadian real estate market. Some of that data was in there. So yeah, the number of people renewing in the next 3 years is very high. And that's, they talk about the delayed impact of interest rate increases. That's a great example of how the impact is delayed. There's a lot of people who haven't felt the cost of the increase, but when they go to renew and they're sitting at, 2.35 or 2.9 or 3.2, whatever they got in at, and suddenly it's 6.91, that's gonna hurt, right? And that's gonna impact their choices and where they can spend their money, what they can spend their money on. you know, what they do and don't do. And so that's where rate pause makes sense, because we don't actually know the full impact of the increases to date. And we're going to keep seeing those for a while, but that's also why the expectation is that they're going to start dropping them sooner rather than later, because they don't want to overdo the work that they've done and push us into a serious recession. Like, we're already technically in a recession with 2 negative quarters, but the negative was so tiny that it might be corrected up. So I hope that answers the
Well,
question.
my phone's ringing, and I think that's why.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you
So
know
we
what?
might expect to be getting a lot of calls.
I think an opportunity for you guys to add value to your relationships is encouraging folks that own property to talk to a mortgage broker early, well in advance of renewal coming up, to understand the impact and what their options are and how they can mitigate, you know, whatever is going to come their way. Because if they leave it to the last minute, they might leave themselves in a tight spot that they can't get out of. And none of us wants one of our clients to lose their home. And, you know, most people will pay their mortgage and nothing else if that's their only choice. But if they get ahead of it and they plan for it, it can be managed.
And I kind of use the analogy to clients. Renewing a mortgage is almost like when you with your phone bills, like a phone company. When you try to negotiate with your existing phone company, it's harder to get those good deals that they give you at the onset. So changing lenders or like I said, talking to a mortgage broker, getting ahead of that, it can really help you save a lot of money on renewals. I know a lot of the DLC team right now, their bread and butter is just beating, you know, existing lenders' renewal offers. It's really easy for us to do because, you know, at the end of the day, they're not giving clients their best rates on renewal. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, any more questions? Thanks, guys.